Okay, so we are looking to break the all-time high today. In fact, it probably could happen while we are live here on the show. It would be amazing if we broke the all-time high while we were live. When the all-time high is broken, guys, that is when the fun begins. That is when the market's really going to rip. And when it happens, it's going to happen quickly. That is the point at the market where you're going to land up making most of your returns. I'm going to show you exactly where in the cycle you're going to make the most part of your returns. And I'm going to show you how much you're going to make. And it's going to be interesting because what we're going to do is we're going to look at how much money you've made, and then we're going to times it by the multiple of what I think you're still going to make. And that should give you an end goal for what you're going to make in this bull market. So today we're going to talk about how much money you are going to make in this bull market using the formula that I've got here. Also, when this happens, as I said, it's going to happen really fast. And you need to make sure that if this happens really fast, that you are positioned into the altcoin narratives. But the problem is when I look at the altcoin narratives, what I see is I see the market overheated. I see the market at fear and greed of 90. And 90 usually means there's going to be some kind of pullback. So there's not many altcoins that I'd be buying. There's not many altcoins that I'd be buying. But there is one narrative that is going to explode and has started to explode. And I think you're still really early into this narrative. And I'm going to show you exactly what that narrative is. And I'm going to show you exactly which tokens I'm playing in that narrative. So guys, let's go. Let's fucking go.
Has discussed crypto regulations and legislations at length, and we have come to the conclusion that instead of regulating, we are going to ape a fat bag each into laptop and pump it to over $1,300,000,000,000,000,000,000,000 market cap. Let's fucking go, crackheads. Council has discussed.
Listen, that's the part of the cycle that we're in. Like it or not, that's the part of the cycle that we're in. Well, guys, welcome back. Excited to be doing another show today. Got a lot to talk about today. Market really heated. Question is, if you want to make money, which narratives do you buy into? And that's what I'm going to show you today. Also, I'm going to show you how much money you're going to make this bull market. I'm going to show you kind of like if you take how much you've made and multiply it by a certain multiplier, that's how much you should aim to make in the rest of the bull market. I'm going to show you exactly what that number is today. So it's going to be a huge show today. Remember, if you're not already subscribed to the best channel in the world, subscribe. I'll show you why you should subscribe. If you don't know, it's these things over here. It's called the Banter bags. And as you can see, what these are is we take $1,000 of IDO allocations that we get at Banter and we put them into this thing called the Banter bags. Right now, we've already put $1,000 of Peckland and $1,000 of Beeple into the Banter bags. If you subscribe to Banter and you subscribe to Banter Plus and you have any exchange account using a crypto Banter link, and there's links below here. Open any exchange account, and then you qualify for the Banter bags. Last time we gave away the Banter bags, we gave away millions of dollars. I think it was like a couple of $1 million, and we split it over 10 people. We want to do the same in this bull market. So subscribe. I could select a winner any day now, and we've already selected 2 winners. I could select one today. I mean, who knows? Maybe I'll just go through the chat today, and maybe I'll call someone like Fairway or Fetty or Chadwin or Cole or Steven. I don't know. You never know. Just make sure that when I do, you're subscribed to Banter, subscribe to Banter Plus, and that you have an exchange account using one of the crypto Banter links. Also, if you have opened an exchange account in the last couple of weeks using a crypto Banter link, you do stand a chance to win the Apple Vision Pro, which we'll give away later on at the end of the show. So big show today. We're going to have a lot of fun. If you want alpha, smash the like button. The more you smash the like button, the more excited I get. I'm a very easily excitable guy. Generally, every time that the likes hit 100, I get more and more excited. When I get more excited, I just spit alpha. And if you've been listening to alpha, then chances are you're already well on the way to making life-changing money in this bull market. And that's effectively where we are. We're very much in the bull market. In fact, I looked at this today, which was something which was very interesting. They call this the Bitcoin recovery process. And they talked about the recovery process, about how long it's taken Bitcoin to recover. And we can see that we are now 99% recovered from the previous high after a long bear market. So if you were here for the bear market, you can pretty much say that anybody who bought any Bitcoin since the previous cycle is actually now in profits. And if it carries on like this, we could break the all-time high today. And if we don't break it today, we could break it tomorrow. But I don't believe that the all-time high is going to be broken like a hot knife through butter. I think there's going to be some kind of resistance. I mean, I hope there's not, but I think there's going to be some kind of resistance. When we break the all-time high, guys, when we break the all-time high, that is when it actually gets exciting. And I don't know if you saw this, but Pomp, who was on CNBC, every time he goes on CNBC, he wears the same suit and tie. It kills me. I don't know if it's just me, but literally the guy wears the same suit and tie every single time. But this is what he said on CNBC. Now, I don't agree with him always, and I do sometimes believe that when Pomp goes on to CNBC, it could be a top signal, but it's worth listening to what he said.
Yep. If you look over the last 60 days and in the next 60 days, I think there's two big stories. The ETF approvals obviously were a huge deal. BlackRock alone has $11 billion in their ETF. They added $1 billion just in the last day. And so these are massive inflows for just one fund. There's 11 of them. And so obviously there's tons of money coming in, about 12 times more demand for Bitcoin than what the network is producing every single day. But also, as we near this record high, if we go back and we look at past record high breaks, or if we eclipse the old all-time high, 3 of the 4 times Bitcoin doubled in 18 days or less. And so if you think about that for a second, once you break through an all-time high, it's price discovery. What is this thing worth? The world is going to try to figure that out. And 3 of the last 4 times in 18 days or less, it doubled in price. You add in the fact that we have the halving coming, and we're going to go from 900 Bitcoin a day coming into the supply to 450. And it's very hard to make an argument that Bitcoin is not going much higher.
So the last few times that we've broken the all-time high, after 18 days, Bitcoin has doubled. So in December 2020, when we broke the all-time high, it took 18 days for Bitcoin to double. So let's go back to December 2020. That is over here. December 2020. It would be there, somewhere over there. So if you look at that, it took 18 days for Bitcoin to double after that point. In March 17, it took 84 days. In November 2013, it took 10 days. And in March 13, it took 18 days. So there is a chance that once Bitcoin breaks the all-time high, it could, as I said, it could happen today. If we all pray hard enough. In fact, can I press the prayer? Is the prayer? Where is the prayer? Hold on. Let's quickly. Market prayer. It's called. Okay, here we go. Let's just maybe all just quickly say a prayer. So I think if we carry on with the prayer, and we carry on with the prayer, then we could get Bitcoin actually doubling in this in the next couple of days. Remember, once we break the all-time high, it goes into price discovery, and once we're in price discovery, there's just no rules for where this thing can actually go. Another thing which is worth noticing is looking at the RSIs. So let's quickly just call up the RSIs here so that you guys can see it. So look where the RSIs are now. The RSIs now are at 87. 87 is very, very, very high for the RSIs. But if you look at this, it says when Bitcoin broke the former all-time high, the RSI was already 87. We rallied 232% in the following 4 months. The first pullback was after 100% move to 40,000, and it pulled back to 30%. The current Bitcoin price is 87. The current Bitcoin weekly RSI is 87 against the former weekly high. The similarities are good, which is positive. Not because I'm saying that we're going to follow the exact path, but because it helps me demonstrate the example and common mistake of failing to believe momentum or truly strive for the upside that is possible. Stop associating overboard with weakness. Start associating it more with momentum. Fight the urge to believe that extension means slowdown. We're accelerating, and it's momentum, and it's pure strength. That is the mistake that a lot of people make. They believe that once a token breaks its all-time high, it gets tired. But it's very different. Once a token gets to its all-time high, usually what happens is, and it breaks the all-time high, that is when we start accelerating, not when we actually start slowing down. And that correlates to what Willie Woo says over here. He says, you think we're in a bull market? We're not. This has been a warm-up. It's a full fundamental-driven bull market, and it's marked by the break of the upper blue band over here, which is, I think he's talking about the RSIs here. When it breaks, TradFi is in for a shock. And if you think about that, TradFi have never seen a Bitcoin bull market before. They've never been participating in a Bitcoin bull market before. And you can see that now everywhere you look, everyone is talking about Bitcoin. The guys that are not in are very bitter with Bitcoin. I mean, you can see that Dave.
What is? I haven't even looked. What's Bitcoin, like 100?
I love it. I love it when you see
65,000. Bitcoin's at 65,000. That, you know what we're going to end up having? We're going to have all these Bitcoin like billionaires and all the rich people who just bought Bitcoin and didn't do anything else with their life. They literally just buy Bitcoin, and you see them and they're buying apartments, cars, bees, throwing around money, acting like the 𝗕𝗫𝗄𝗡. It's like, what'd you do? Oh, I bought Bitcoin. Oh, nice. 65,000 for Bitcoin.
A lot of them are bitter.
Bitcoin depresses me. Like, I respect it. I don't know how I haven't made $1 billion on Bitcoin. And I've made nothing. I've lost. I'm the only guy. How do you lose on Bitcoin? How do you lose on Bitcoin?
Exactly.
How do you be behind on Bitcoin? I am. I don't know how. How do you believe in Bitcoin?
So you see a lot of them are very bitter. I mean, you can see it here as well. Kramer as well.
I first thought the rally in Bitcoin was because of the ETF. I just think people are just saying, you know what? I don't trust these fiat currencies. So let's just be as a hedge, diversification hedge, to
including our own.
He's starting to talk about it. Everybody in TradFi is starting to talk about it. Tom Lee came on today and he said, look, he really thinks that Bitcoin's going to go to mean reversion and it's going to go to 82,000. But everywhere you go now in the news, everyone is talking about Bitcoin. It's Bitcoin, Bitcoin, and Bitcoin.
Snazzy breaking news graphic. We are on Bitcoin record watch. Bitcoin got close to the record about 20 minutes ago. It's just, now it's below 68,000. Bitcoin moves around a lot. But it passed 68,000 for the first time in 3 years. Bitcoin's record high is 68,982. So actually right now we're exactly $1,000 away from that, but we were within a couple of hundred points just moments ago. So obviously wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin, which was at 16 or 15,000 like a year and a half.
He goes on and he speaks to Tom Lee, and Tom Lee then calls it up to 82,000, maybe even 150,000. And of course the reason is because the ETF just keep bringing in more money, and it's not going to stop, because what BlackRock are now starting to do is they're starting to put the Bitcoin into all of their other ETFs, or into a lot of their other ETFs. They just filed a filing for a new ETF and says the fund may acquire shares in ETPs that generally reflect the performance of Bitcoin. So they're starting to put Bitcoin into all their other funds, which is starting to drive the price up. And that's more or less where we are in the cycle. And I knew this would happen. I said that if we get to a point where the Bitcoin price starts running after the ETF, we get a FOMO party that is about to start, as Schemo says. Now the FOMO party is actually starting. And the FOMO is real, guys. People are starting to flock into Bitcoin, and it's not only the institutions. We're starting to see the leverage go through the roof. I want to show you what I mean by go through the roof. It's worrying. So remember when we used to look at this chart, and this chart basically shows you the leverage on each one of the tokens. And you can see that every single token is now orange. Now, the concern is that a few days ago, we only had yellow. There was only a yellow color code. There was no orange. It was only yellow. Because we became such degens, because we were so mental, because we were so retard, what happened was they now had to add another color, which is orange, and soon they're going to have to add red, because we want to borrow so much money to start taking leverage, because we are leveraged apes. And someone says we're going to have to add another color now, aren't we? And that's the truth. Like, we are just orange on fucking everything. Look at this. Look at the 1 day. Look at the 1 day. It's all orange. It's a completely new color. That is how much appetite there is for leverage in this market. And the problem with leverage in the market is that we get these leverage flashes every now and then. And when we get those leverage flashes, they wreck a whole lot of traders. In fact, $500 million worth of leverage has been wrecked. But it's made no difference to the amount of leverage that's actually in the market. The amount of leverage in the market is still ridiculous. I've never seen the market that is so overheated. And I don't know if you guys noticed this, and I'm sure if you are trading leverage, you notice this, but the leverage costs are actually so ridiculous that they're really starting to add up now. Like, I want to just show you, like, on our leverage positions specifically, you can see that, let me just go a bit higher. So for those of you who can't see, you can see on this Bitcoin position, we've made $442,000, but we've paid $44,000 in leverage. And in this one here, we've made $89,000, but we've paid $7,000 to hold the leverage here. And the reason is, when you buy 11 Bitcoin, and I'm holding 11 Bitcoin in this position, the value of the 11 Bitcoin is 11 times 67,000. It's about $700,000. I'm paying interest on $700,000 to hold that position on leverage, and I'm paying interest at a rate that is like above 100% a year. So it's really, really, really starting to burn. And you can see it with this guy over here. He says, like, good morning, shorters. This is my gift to you. Thank you for matching my longs. But he paid them $225,000 in leverage. Now, that's very cool when the market keeps going up. But if we get a pullback now, then you will see traders like me and others who are on leverage that will say, hold on a second, I was so far up, but now the problem is I'm down and I still have to pay leverage. And that's the problem with this leverage. That's why this leverage becomes so dangerous. The other thing that's worrying me is this fear and greed. If I look at the fear and greed, look at this fear and greed. It's at 90. Now, look, it's not the end of the world because it has been at 90 before. In 2019, for a couple of days, you can see like that. You see that little, let me show you, this little dot over here, tiny, tiny, tiny. That is in that high. That's when the greed and fear was so high. And then here, for 4 months, the greed and fear was this high. It lasted for 4 months. The fear and greed was this high. So that's where we are, and we're also seeing that. The NFT market, I mean, there was an NFT that just sold for $16 million, which is the second highest NFT sale ever. Guys, all of these, I've got to be honest with you, are making me worried. It's telling me that there's a lot of froth in the market. When there's a lot of froth in the market, you have to start thinking risk off. You cannot be thinking risk on. You cannot be taking careless, ridiculous positions when the market is at these levels. You need to get into the mindset of, I'm not here to make money. I'm here to keep money. A lot of people are going to make a lot of money. Very, very, very few people are going to keep money. I really hope that the people here now, the 8,170 of you that are watching the show now, are in the mindset of keeping money and not making money. Don't take unnecessary risks because we need to preserve our capital for the next part of the bull market when shit's going to go crazy. In this part of the bull market, we're seeing all the signs of froth. NFTs are selling for a big number. Fear and greed is high. Leverage is high. Coinbase crashed again. I mean, you want proof that retail is here? Coinbase went and crashed again. Coinbase app is now ranking 49th on the App Store. Remember, when the Coinbase app gets to number 1, that is when we've had the 2 previous crashes. And now we've gone from 350 on the App Store to position number 49. There's a frenzy going on right now. We know when the look at this. The app was number 500 on the 9th of February. On the 10th of February, and the 12th of February, it was 475. Now the app is number 49. Everybody wants to download the app because everybody wants to degen into crypto. We are at the FOMO stage of the cycle now. And I can see the same thing with our Banter bubbles. So you can see the same thing in our Banter bubbles. I want to show you our Banter bubbles usage statistics because even though these are confidential, you guys are part of the fam. I want you to see how the numbers have gone up just in the last couple of days. On the 27th of February, we were getting 12,000 people accessing the app every single day. Yesterday, we got 22,000 people accessing the app. Today, so far, let's have a look. Just refreshing it. We've had 18,000. More and more and more people are starting to come into crypto. And by the way, if you are one of the 18 or 20,000 or 25,000 people that are accessing Banter bubbles, I have to show you 2 things really quickly. First thing is, if you want to win a full Bitcoin, and holy shit, if you win a full Bitcoin, you're going to win more than $67,000. All you need to do is predict the price of Bitcoin. You have to have an exchange account with any crypto Banter partner exchange. Bybit, BitGet, OKX, Evo, BingX, CoinW, doesn't matter who. And make a prediction. If you are the right price on the 15th of May, if you're the closest to the price on the 15th of May, that's it. We give you a Bitcoin. It's like a no-brainer. So that's one thing that I want you to notice on Banter bubbles. And go and make predictions. We'll read the predictions at the end of the show. The other thing is, if you're here and you're looking for alpha and you want free alpha, there's no better place to get alpha than the Banter newsroom, which sits on the side here. And you can literally watch the prices moving. You can see that in the last hour, the market is starting to pull back. Yes, I'll show you why why I'm happy about the market starting to pull back. Because I'm short Pepe and I'm short, I'm short Pepe. There you see my Pepe short's actually up now, $6,000. And I'm probably going to double down on that short. In the show, I'm going to double down on that short. In this show, I'm doubling down on that show. We'll put that trade on together a bit later on today. Anyway, so that's where we are in the cycle. Please help us get these numbers up. I want Banter bubbles to get to 100,000. You guys can help. Already 22,351 people are using it. Let's see if we can get that number up. Tell your friends, access the banter bubbles, and let's fucking go. Let's carry on in this cycle. I'm saying let's carry on in the cycle. This cycle has actually been one of the best Bitcoin and crypto cycles ever. Okay, so like really one of the best Bitcoin and crypto cycles ever. You can see that right now we are up 390% from the lows where we were on Bitcoin. And that means that in this cycle, other than the very early cycles, which was the 2011 and the 2010 and 2011, this is the best Bitcoin cycle so far. We're up 390% from the lows. It's the fastest moving Bitcoin cycle. And the reality is that as fast moving as the cycle is, the fun part of the cycle actually comes when we break the all-time high, which is what I said. So you can look at it here and you can say the fun part of the cycle actually happens when we break the all-time highs. And it follows, it actually, I mean, you can see that in the cycle, Bitcoin's starting to really make waves. It's now eclipsed, yesterday it eclipsed for a very short period, the silver market cap. And it's going to be a very good cycle. And the reason why it's going to be a very good cycle is because if you look at this blue line over here, that's the Fed funds rate. That's the interest rate. It's the first cycle that we've had where we've started a bull market when the Fed funds rate is high. And when the Fed funds rate is high, usually they're going to have to reduce it. And if they reduce the rates, they're going to make people invest more and they're going to make risk assets explode more. And when they make risk assets explode more, Bitcoin is going to be the highest, the best performer out of this. So this cycle is about to get crazy. And the reality is that no matter how much money you've made, this is the part of the cycle where you're going to land up making the most money. And you want to know how much money you're going to make in this cycle? Well, I've got a very simple calculation for you, a very simple formula for you. The formula is called the Pareto principle. Now, what is the Pareto principle? The Pareto principle is what they talk about, the 80-20 rule. And what they say is that you're going to make the biggest 80% of your profits are going to be made in the last 20% of the bull market. That means that you take whatever profits you've made in the first part of the bull market, and I know my number is quite big, and I know Dan's number is very big. The guy's a 𝗕𝗔𝗡𝗦𝗡𝗦 mofo. You're going to make 80% of your profits in the last 20% of the cycle. And then you got to get out and you got to make sure that you're going to sell them. So, I mean, for those of you who don't know, I actually Googled what the Pareto principle actually is. The Pareto principle specifies that 80% of consequences come from 20% of the causes. It's basically 80% of your returns will come in 20%, in the last 20% of the bull market. And that correlates back to Fred Krueger. He says that he mentioned in one of his videos, nobody can predict the future, but the fractal pattern is predicting 3 times previous cycle high. So 3 times previous cycle high, that's what the fractal pattern actually is predicting at the moment. So the cycle is going very well. And the question is, where are we in the cycle? We're not in the early stage. We could be in the mid stage. Valuations can't go higher, makes no sense. The later stages, market is overheated and valuations make no sense. I think we're somewhere between mid stage and late stage, but I think we're more, and then we're going to bubble stage. So you still have the majority of the bull market you still have the majority of the bull market going for you. So that is, someone says, is it 68,600? Oh, I told you it could break it now while we're on the show. Hold on, wait. If let's just do it one. It's because we did this. Let's just do it one more time. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
You ready? Again. James? Dan, come stand here. James, come stand here. Let's all stand up. Stand up, stand up. You ready? Yeah. You go down. That's your face. Okay, you ready? Let's go. I'm telling you, if we carry on doing this, we're gonna single-handedly as a community, we're gonna drive the price to the all-time high. I mean, I don't know if you saw this, but MicroStrategy, this is such a great advert for Bitcoin, because their share price has actually outperformed the NVIDIA share price. And the amount of money that they've made his unrealized profit, Michael said, has made $7 billion in MicroStrategy's name. He's also made a whole lot of money in his personal name. I don't know if you remember, but he actually put like a lot of his wealth, over $1 billion of his own personal wealth into Bitcoin. Can you imagine how, he could be one of the richest people in the world. He's a legend. He could be one of the richest people in the world. So that's what happens. That's the story when it comes to Bitcoin. Now let's talk about altcoins, because I'm very worried. I'm very, very, very worried about where the market is right now. Chris Boniski kind of agrees with me. He says, look, we're nearing the 1-year anniversary of the SBV collapse. The timeline is euphoric. Many respectable investors are noting speculative access in the Bitcoin market. Basically, he's talking about crazy euphoria in the market. And I think, to be honest, he's right. I mean, just look at the bubbles. Which are the tokens that are moving? Again, it's the meme coins. I think Lunacy. I think there was 𝗏𝗏 news today. Yeah. If the researchers could just send me the 𝗏𝗏 news, so I could look at the 𝗏𝗏 news. But there's a lot of 𝗏𝗏 news. I mean, this is another thing which I saw, which reminds me of the euphoria in the market. It's the meme coin traders taking calculated risks. Because you talk to a meme coin trader now, you say to him, look, you got to be careful. As I said yesterday, you can't treat meme coins as an investment. You got to treat them as a dirty trade. And then they all say to me, don't worry, I'm managing my risk. And this is what them managing their risk looks like. I mean, that's literally what the meme coin traders are doing right now. They're all managing their risk. You can see the volume in meme coins has gone crazy. I even heard Bloomberg talking about
looking
meme
like
coins.
it's going to close in the green. I do want to talk about something we just chatted about on radio, guys. The era of the meme coin is back. Can you believe that?
No, I don't.
Tell
me more, Tim.
Okay, there's Pepe the dog, Pepe the frog themed coin, and dog with hat.
This is Bloomberg.
This is new to me. I'm just learning this from among the most read, Muyao Shen.
I think this is all just
The
to
Pepe
say
coin
it is certainly back.
Okay.
There's
Is
a
that where we're
sentiment.
at? Is this like the contrarian sell signal now?
That's what I'm thinking. This is like there's a sentiment indicator here, right?
So as soon as Bitcoin hits 69,000, what happens to all these other meme coins? That's the big question, right?
Can't believe it.
Well, not
guys,
really, right?
this is
Because now
Bloomberg.
you're waiting for
I can't
that
believe
Ethereum.
Bloomberg is talking like this. I can't believe Bloomberg's talking like this. Okay, you guys, James, move the live counter so I can see the price of Bitcoin. So I can see, put the price of Bitcoin up here so I can see what the price of Bitcoin is. So I can see when we've got to make history together. We have to make history together here today. I mean, you want more signs of froth? I'll show you. There is a category on CoinGecko called dog-themed coins. Did you know that? Dog-themed coins. Then you've got another category called Politify. Okay, what is Politify? It's basically meme coins. Trump, free Trump, Trump coin. It's meme coins. No jokes. It is meme coins. Wait, we did tell the researchers.
Won his appeal against USA.
Okay, so we did see that Lunacy is pumping because 𝗏𝗏 wins his appeal. He's not going to the US. In a rare win for 𝗏𝗏 and the 𝗕𝗫𝗚𝗏 co-founder, Montenegro overruled a lower court decision to extradite into the US according to the statement. So he's not going to the US. Okay, fine. That's good for 𝗏𝗏. He stays in a jail somewhere else. So we can see that the amount of froth in this market is back. Andrew Kang says, advocating for a 1 to 5% portfolio allocation of meme coins is like the boomers advocating for 1.5% of their allocation to Bitcoin. I agree. Put 1 to 5% of your allocation into Bitcoin. But that's not the exciting narrative. Like, to me right now, Bitcoin is not the exciting narrative. As I said to you, I think that Bitcoin is going to break the all-time high. But I think the exciting narrative is actually the other narrative, which is ETH. I don't know if you guys have been watching the chart, but I spoke to you yesterday about ETH. And I told you that ETH is actually right now the better trade. And the reason why I think ETH is maybe the better trade is you look at where ETH is. So we've broken this level over here, which was the 3,500 level. Now we through that. There's pretty much no real resistance until like 3.9. And then we're going to go straight up to 4.841. So I'm seeing a huge acceleration in ETH right now. And you got to think about this. The last time Bitcoin was trading at this level, ETH was at like 4,800, was at its all-time high. And ETH has been lagging, okay? ETH has been lagging. And now you can see that even though ETH has been lagging, it has to have some kind of catch-up trade. And the money will start flowing into the ETH ecosystem, the ETH layer 2s. And it's not, you can see it like all the chartists, everybody's kind of looking and saying ETH, 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 ETH. Even on CNBC again, now they're starting to talk about the ETH trade. They're starting to give, we're very early to this ETH narrative trade. It actually probably only started yesterday, which is when I spoke about it on my show. But what you can see is that the guys,
and overall risk on.
Complete perfect storm. Yep. But I think you have to look at the two products that investors really focus on. Number one, obviously Bitcoin, which has been traditionalized with the advent of the ETFs. Here's the interesting one, and here's the thought. You have Bitcoin up 58%. Right. You have Ethereum up 57%. Ethereum doesn't have the ETF yet. So you have a lot of people who are going to own Ethereum on the belief that an ETF is coming. is Ethereum riding the back of Bitcoin, or is Ethereum rallying on the belief that the ETF's coming? Because if it's rallying on the back of Bitcoin, then there's so much more alpha that can be generated in owning Ethereum relative to Bitcoin because the ETF's not there yet.
Yeah, I don't just.
So they are talking about the ETF and the ETF. That's Wall Street talking about the ETF and the ETF trade. You can see that the traders have started, the options traders have started to ape ETH. The futures traders, the CME traders have started to ape ETH. ETH open interest is almost at an all-time high on the CME. So it looks like the ETH trade is actually starting to happen. And I saw this tweet earlier by Fred Krueger again. He says, my number one concern in life is that the ETH ETF is the ETH ETF. If it's critical we keep Wall Street spigot 100% focused on Bitcoin for at least one more year. If they accept the ETH ETF in 2025, it'll be too late. Wall Street would have already committed all the money to Bitcoin. If by some horror the ETF passes this year, which is what a lot of people think, the narrative will shift from Bitcoin to Bitcoin versus ETH, and it'll be confusing. I don't think so. I think that two ETFs are probably better than one ETF. And you can see that now the SEC started to start commenting and delaying decisions to get public feedback on the ETF. And if you look at the recoveries or the bounces in the last couple of days, the bounces in the last couple of days have very much been ETH ETF or ETH related, which is exactly what I said to you yesterday. I said, look, shift your profits out of meme coins and start putting them into the ETH layer 2, the ETH trades. And there's a couple of reasons. One is obviously the ETF reason. The second thing is that there's a lot of ETH now being staked, and that removes from the supply. Then you got the EIP-4844 upgrade, which is happening next week. This is like the big upgrade, which is called the Denkun upgrade, which is effectively what it does is it, amongst other things, lowers the cost of roll-ups or the cost of transactions for the layer 2s by 90%. So here is the layer 2 transactions, and this is what the layer 2 transactions are going to be after the ETF roll-up. So you can see that, I mean, the numbers are huge. It's a 90% reduction in layer 2 fees. And that is, and then, of course, there's the restaking narrative of ETH, which is huge. So you combine all those narratives together, and now it's ETH's time in the sun. And you can see that now, from a chart point of view, ETH has broken critical levels in the chart. And since it has broken critical levels in the chart, we can expect ETH to continue to go up. That would be where I would be focusing right now from a trade point of view. I would be taking my money out of speculative meme coins and being in the ETH and ETH layer 2s. Which layer 2s? Easy. Just go to L2Beat.com. Look at some of the layer 2s here. I mean, I've got a monster position in 𝗏𝗏𝗏𝗏. It's over here. You can see that position is up $309,000. Yeah, someone said Bitcoin about to break all-time high. Petite, we are watching. We're all watching together. It's in the corner of the screen, as you can see. Just look up at the top corner there of the screen, and you'll see it. So look at the ETH layer 2s. There's a list for you here of which ones we're looking at. And you can see a lot of them have actually had real moves today. Real moves today. So Arbitrum is up 5.48%. We love Arbitrum. Optimism also up. Optimism has a very, very, very unique model. They're talking about this thing called superchains. And what the superchain narrative is, it's almost like Cosmos, where people use the OP stack, which is their tech stack. And then the chains kind of become interoperable. So like Base is using the Optimism stack. In fact, you can hear what the founder said at, I think is it ETH Denver? Yeah, it was at ETH Denver. Just listen to what he said.
Base is an Ethereum L2 incubated by Coinbase, and we are building as part of the Superchain. Superchain, you can kind of think about it like a big group of chains that have decided to come together and create something bigger than any one of them alone. And we're doing that by building on a shared technology stack that's open source and accessible to everyone. That's the OP stack. We're doing that by opting into shared security models with some things like the Security Council. And then we're doing that by actually creating technical interoperability between all of the chains so that they can actually more seamlessly transact. And then the last piece is we're building a bunch of governance and financial infrastructure that basically funds those chains and the developers that are building on those chains to make it so they can build more cool stuff on chain. So that's what Base is, and that's what the superchain is.
So you've got Base with their superchain narrative. Let's go back to our list. There's our list. Then you've got MATIC. Let's not forget MATIC. MATIC is the king of layer 2s. It's got the most TVL, the most users. That's one that you've got to be looking at. METIS, Banter. So you want to be looking at Mantle. METIS, Banter, and Mantle. I mean, it's like people that have kids that have the similar names. All have amazing stuff working against them. The one that I'm a little bit skeptical of, not because I think from a tech point of view, StarkNet is one of the best, and you can see it started to move today. It really is one of the best technology stacks out there, and you can see it. Here it is. It started to move. It moved 16% today. Problem is that the valuation is really high, and there's very few tokens in circulation, which means that if you land up holding this as a big investment, as a long-term investment, you could actually get destroyed by tokens flowing in from token releases. So that's the one that worries me a little bit. Another one that I really like, of course, is COTI. COTI made an announcement that they are an ETH layer 2. They're building it with this new technology, this new privacy technology. That's another one which I would hold. One which is not launched, but you can actually get airdrop tokens is 𝗕𝗫. So 𝗕𝗫 is one of our sponsors. They are also a privacy transaction ETH layer 2. You can actually send tokens from one person to another without actually even them going on the blockchain explorer. So these are really private transactions if you want them to be. And you can actually get an airdrop if you go and use the testnet. So just go to 𝗕𝗫 and just click on testnet and then go and mess around with testnet. You can actually, you can also get an airdrop. So these are the ones that I'd be looking at when it comes to the ETH narrative. Obviously, you can look at other ETH players as well. You can look at things like ENS. You can look at things like Lido. You can look at things like one that I showed you guys yesterday, which I said was very good. I said to you guys, look at Curve. And I think Curve, if you look at Curve, was also up a lot at some point today. Maybe it started to come down now, but it was up a lot. But you can see Optimism, StarkNet. The market's basically telling you what the next narrative is. The market's telling you ENS, ETH naming services, the market's telling you exactly what the next narrative is. It's also, I mean, look, I'm looking at this FTT. And for me, when FTT gets to these kind of levels, it's actually a great short because this is not even a meme coin. Look, the FTX exchange is closed. It's never going to reopen. Only retards buy this token. So I don't know if you bought it, I'm so sorry that I called you a retard, but it's actually true. It is. Someone says, what about Sui? Look, Sui is not an ETH narrative token. It is a great blockchain. It is a fantastic blockchain, probably one of the best user experience blockchains on the market. If you're looking for a good blockchain in terms of user experience, Sui, definitely one of the best ones. So that is what I would focus on. That is the narratives that I would be focusing on. And then important to remember that this time, unlike the previous time, once ETH runs, then we're going to get the real alt season. So the first altcoin cycle that we had in this cycle was this one. And we kind of missed ETH. So it went like fiat, Bitcoin, large cap alts, mid cap alts, low caps back up. And there was no ETH. And we were like, okay, when ETH? I think now it's happening. And I think that the good news is that it's happening now. You kind of have time to prepare because what's going to happen is you're going to get the ETH narrative running. And then after you get the ETH narrative running, what's going to happen is you're going to get the large cap alts running. And then you're going to go into the full blown alt season. So now you kind of know the playbook. Initially, in the beginning of the cycle, you didn't know the playbook because the playbook basically destroyed us. It didn't destroy us because we weren't in ETH because we felt that ETH was too boring. We were in Arbitrum, and as a result of the fact that we were in Arbitrum, we've paid a lot of money in funding. I've paid a fortune to hold this damn Arbitrum position, even though I took $50,000 profit, and the funding has actually eaten me up alive. That's a lesson for you guys if you want to trade leverage. It's cool to trade leverage, but you need to manage your funding, especially when the things, holy shit, look at Bitcoin, it's 69,000. We've got to be together. We all have to be together when this thing breaks the all-time highs. And it's going to happen now. It's going to happen on the show. It's going to happen on the show. I did like this investment thesis or philosophy. It says crypto and AI, Bitcoin L2 and memes are very clean narratives because they don't have baggage from the previous cycle. Previous cycles, try and look for narratives that don't have baggage from the previous cycle's narratives. What do they mean by baggage? Old token holders that are waiting to dump their tokens because they bought at a higher price. That's one kind of baggage. Another kind of baggage is when people look at a price and they say, oh, but it traded at this price in the last cycle. That's baggage because they've got a frame of reference for the previous cycle. So I would watch out and I'd look for new narratives because new narratives basically have price discovery, right? Come on, guys, 69,000. Come on, go. I mean, it's going to happen. It's going to happen any minute now. And then the question is, does it reject or not? What does it do? Does it reject after this?
I don't know.
Up only.
Up only once we break the short.
Up only.
Still.
Someone says go Sol. Let's look at Sol, because actually Sol is the next one that I wanted to talk to you about. Sol 138. Very good, very good trade for us. Look at this trade here. So this trade over here is up 682%, $707,000 on one trade. Holy shit. That's quite a good profit that we've made here. Sui also good. Stargate, very good. All of our trades are up except that the stupid short that I took. Why did I take a short on an AI coin in a bull market? I mean, that's such a rookie mistake. The only losing trade that I've got in my portfolio is this trade over here, for God's sake. So yes, remember that when the other altcoins actually start running, it happens really quickly. You can see here that Solana went from 20 to 120 in 2 months. That goes back to that 80-20 rule, where the 80% of the moves are going to happen in 20% of the time, a very short period of time. Yeah, Sol could be the next one. Start positioning yourselves in such a way that you're going Bitcoin, ETH, large cap alts, small cap alts. So you kind of know, you got a cheat sheet. The cheat sheet says, for now, Bitcoin, then ETH and all the related tokens, and then it's just going to move down. Solana, Cosmos, I mean, let's just quickly go to CoinGecko.
Oh, we hit it to the cent. Yeah, to the literal cent. Now.
We're over. But what? No, 69.
Oh, we hit it exactly. It's broken ATH on Coinbase.
On Coinbase? Yeah, okay, wait, let's go to Coinbase.
Finance is on the cent.
Okay, hold on, let's go. Okay, we've got to watch this together, guys.
On the cent, you check that.
Okay, so wait, this is BTC USD on Coinbase. Okay. Let's go.
Cool. We broke it on Kraken. Yeah.
Well, hold on. What's the when was the all-time high? What was the all?
68,997 was the all.
Okay, but you see, now it rejected. You see. That's what I said. It's going to touch and it's going to reject, and that's exactly what happened. So you see, touch, reject. Oof! It touched the all-time high and rejected. I don't know if it's going to.
We broke it on Kraken.
I don't know if it's going to bounce like. I don't know if it's going to break it like butter.
It's still above on Coinbase. Yeah.
No, it's not. It's below. It's below. The all-time high on Coinbase is here. It's 68,900.
Hey, we got it on Bitstamp as well.
Yeah, but there's a rejection. You can see it. There's a rejection now. It's not going to be a clean break, but when it breaks, it's going to be. It's going to be ridiculous. It's going to be ridiculous. A big reject. We know there's going to be a rejection here, guys. We know. I actually think that maybe we'll get a proper rejection here. Yeah. So start positioning yourself. Anyway, while we're waiting for the all-time high to break, which I think it will break, if you have a crypto, let's just quickly do this. Let's quickly do this. So we have. Let's go to our show, and let's go to here. Now you can see if you want to win an Apple Vision Pro, just go to, or you want to win the Banter bags, just go here. And you can see that there's any of these exchanges you can sign up for. If you sign up, then you get onto this list where there should be like lots of people on this list now. Let's see how many people are on this list. Holy shit. 13. There are, wow, you guys are crazy. 13,800 people on the list. So 13,289. Let's go here. 13,289. Let's generate a random number. 2532 is our number. So if you are account number 2532, you win yourself an Apple Vision Pro. You need to email us at giveaways@cryptobanter.com and we will verify your account. 2532. 2532. Okay, so if you are on Bybit and you are account number 148262730, if that's your account, email us at giveaways@cryptobanter.com and you'll win the Apple Vision Pro. Let's carry on. Let's see. Let's go back to the charts. Let's see if Bitcoin's going to do anything crazy. Let's see if the bubbles are doing anything crazy. Okay, so let's just have a look at what's happening on the bubble. So FTT, probably a good short at some point. It's nothing but a meme coin. A0 doing pretty well. A0 is doing pretty well. ICP, Internet Computer, doing pretty well. I've got a position in that. Arbitrum, Shiba, Doge, Meme Coin Mania. You can actually go down to, I think, like a 1 minute chart, a 5 minute chart. Let's have a look at the 5 minute chart. So you can see which tokens are actually exploding in the last 5 minutes. So the last 5 minutes, it's XCC, which has exploded. And Aptos starting to move up. Very happy that the AI coins are going down because of my short. Very happy. Not all right, if there's any, I mean, we've got like 1 or 2 more minutes. If there's any questions, someone said it hit 69,170 on coin market cap. We saw that. Someone says all-time high Banter bag giveaway. Let's celebrate. Let's give some people more time to sign up. 𝗏𝗏 not with SBF in prison. No, not insane prison, sir. Not insane prison. Oh, by the way, I mean, if you want the layer 2s, I've actually got a portfolio here of layer 2s.
I actually change the currency.
Yeah, I put a lot of tokens into an account. So you see, I've got a portfolio here which is tracking all my exchanges. So it's got all my exchanges and all my wallets. It's done with CoinStats. So CoinStats is one of our sponsors. And you can basically link all your centralized exchanges and all your wallets in one place. Now, the cool thing is here. The other day I plugged it in and I connected it. And because it was tracking all my wallets and those tokens had moved up so much, I ended up making like a whole lot of money that I didn't know I had. And I found it because I opened my CoinStats. So that's like, if you ever need another reason to see all your tokens in one place, that's a good enough reason. All right, fam. I will see you guys again tomorrow. Until then, have fun, trade well.